Hey guys, here we are on live again. Got a couple of things to talk to you about. I went down to race. I spent one day racing my own car with someone sitting next to me and driving on the track. I graduated. I got my driver's license to be a race car driver. And yesterday I went down and I drove an actual race car. Now, the race car had shifts. I haven't driven a shift car in 40 some odd years. And it was a bitch. I saw the guy raise a black flag after I was on the track a while. And I didn't know who it was. Second time around, when I came around again, he pointed the thing at me and waved the black flag. That was for me to get off the track. So I got off the track. I didn't know, what I did wrong, but I was hitting the turns too fast. I wasn't braking fast enough. I wasn't downshifting the way I was supposed to be downshifting and stuff like that. But they said I did great. They said it's a matter of time. I'm not giving up yet, but they're thinking I should take some more courses. The head guy came down. The girls were there. Some of the girls were there. And said, Sammy, you did great. You just started. It's your first race. But you got balls. Your problem is you got too much balls because you were driving too fast. In other words, when you come to these cars are flying. They're going, especially when I got in the race car. At a distance, you see the turn coming. You got to start braking and you downshift from third to second to get through the thing, because when you go through this way, as soon as you come out of that, boom, you hit another one, you got to go back again the other way. So I almost hit the dirt. If I would have hit the dirt, my car would have spun. So they were worried about that. That's why they gave me the black flag, pulled me off the track. I got back on after they talked to me and I understood what they were talking about. But they want me to take some other courses and stuff because I'm not ready. I'm verified race car driver, and I raced in all day, a couple of hours on Saturday and all day Sunday. So it was fun. And people are great. The racing car people are great. They're good people, hardworking people. They're living in trailers and in back of things. I got to the point I had put on a uniform. And I was leaving my T-shirt on. He says, you got to take your shoes and socks off and your pants off to put the thing on. So I said, where's the bathroom? No bathroom. Just get undressed. Women there, guys there. He says, you got underwear on, right? Yeah. He said, well, come on, just strip. Hurry up. We got 5 minutes. Hurry up. And I did that. And I had to put their socks on because the socks are fireproof. The shoes are different. The uniform. So in case of a fire, you can't just be in a regular clothes. It really was. I got a bruise on my chin. I think I banged my chin when I was putting my mask on. See it still? Yeah, I got a nice, good bruise on my chin. My hands got cut up a little bit. I mean, I'm so tight in that car. There's two belts, one on each side coming around my waist, one coming up from my crotch, and they all hook together. So you're really stuck in there. Then I had a shoulder harness with the straps coming over, and then the helmet, and they strap the helmet on around your neck and the back. I mean, I don't even think you can get out of the car if there's a fire. I think because they're concerned with a fire. So I couldn't even turn my neck. The starter button, he says it's on your right. I knew where it was, but I couldn't see it. I couldn't turn my neck around because there's a bar sticking out. I couldn't see it. It's the same height as my eyes. So it was a hell of a day. We had a lot of fun, but, and like I said, the race car people are great. I mean, there was a guy who ran in one race, and his wife ran in the red race. I was in the red race, and I talked to her, and she says, good luck. I said, listen, do me a favor, stay in front of me so I could follow you. So, the turns and the curves come up so fast. I don't know how they do that. Well, they're trained. They're doing it a long time, 15 years, 12 years, 20 years, 22 years. And this is completely brand new for me. So, and it's not like driving. When I drove my car in the race the first day, it's got power steering and everything. The race car's got not the same kind of power steering. It's much harder to turn the wheel from side to side. You got to put some muscle into it. So I had fun. I enjoyed it. I was there and I left. They wanted me to come back today. And today I had the live and I had a few things, so I'm not going today. I'm going to put out videos. We're working on it now. And you'll see me in the car and you'll see the car driving. I had people filming it. And people recognized who I was there and they came down. They had their kids there. They brought their children or their grandchildren over to take a picture with me and stuff. They were good people, really good people. And they were, you know, they're not trying to knock me out or out of the race or do anything. They're trying to help. They want everybody to have fun. You know, some of the races, they get a little vicious, bunking into each other and doing weird shit. So, and they explaining to me what you do when you're bunked. How when you see a car coming up fast, you put your arm out the window and he knows you're allowing him to pass. And you got to keep your line so that he knows you're not moving from side to side. You just keep your line. And he knows what you did, so he knows how to pass you. They're more experienced. They're in a faster car. So it's so much to learn. I never thought it was that. I just thought you get in the car, you go race, you know. But it's not that way. This is a lot to learn. And I just hope that this isn't going to take up too much of my time because this is literally like it's a lifestyle for these people. It's a lifestyle. They drive all over the country in trailers and stuff. But they're good people. They really are good people. And they're trying to put on a show for everybody. Plus, they're trying to win. A lot of factors to it. All right, let me stop talking about my race cars. But it's something that was on my bucket list. I did it. I didn't even think I was going to get this far into it. I think the reason why is I wasn't afraid of it. I drive fast to begin with, so I like speed. Mm-hmm. But this is a whole nother animal. This isn't just a drag race on the street. When I was a kid, we did drag race. This is totally different.
Just want to give a few shout outs to folks in the chat. Betty Ann's in the chat, Jay Marie, Sean, Ryan Brown, Francisco, Marshall G, Xavier, James, Vincent Paglialunga Jr. What's up, guys? Thank you guys for tuning in. No, Jay Marie, I am not munching on anything, surprisingly. Sammy, Ryan Brown wants to know if you heard about Bobby Manna getting compassionate release.
I did. You know, I did a video down the road. I was trying to get him out of prison. I made statements. I did videos about it. My son just told me that he was released today, but somebody had told me that he had passed away in prison. So I did a video when I was trying to get him out. I sent the thing to the judge. It's supposed to be humane. The guy's in 94 years old. He's sick. Let him out. You know, give him you let a lot of people out. I mean, give him a compassion. I think he's 95 years old now. He knows I was helping him. I spoke with his lawyers and stuff like that. Bobby, if you're out, if you could hear this, good luck with your life. You deserve it. You did 36, 37 years, or 40 years, and he's 95 years old. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your freedom. I know what it feels like to do a lot of time, and I know what it is to get out and have a little bit of freedom. So enjoy it. And I wish you all the luck in the world. We knew each other from the street. You ever need me, give me a holler.
So this is from Redman. He said, Sammy, I have a fun question for you today. Which gangster from your time does Amina remind you of? Think of all the gangsters from your time in the street, and who would she most likely be and why? I think Redman's setting me up.
A little bit of Tommy Karate. She's got that little bit of toughness in her. But Fat Eddie, because she eats, she's not fat. She's not fat by a long shot, but she eats like Fat Eddie. I think she'd eat him under the table. Like, forget about it. No match. So Amina's great. She's a great person to work with. She's got a great personality, and she's tough as nails, bro. She's no joke.
Okay, Billy Ryan wants to know, hi, Sammy. The Cleveland family war with Irish Danny Greene started allegedly over Greene refusing to repay a debt to the Gambinos. Do you remember hearing people talk about the beef in Cleveland?
I heard about it. I think he was, an Irish guy, and he was bombing. He put bombs under cars, and he killed some people. He started a little bit of a war, if I'm not mistaken. That's how he wound up dying. They got him. They got to him, and I think they blew him up too. So I think they did a movie about him. I didn't see it, but I heard that somebody told me they made a movie about him. I didn't see it. I don't know what it's on. But I did hear about him a long time ago.
Ryan Brown with another question for you. Sammy, would you ever do an interview with Greg Laurie? He is very friendly with Michael Franzese, and they sat down for an interview. It was very well done.
Yeah, sure. I would do it. I do interviews with people. Michael Franzese, a friend of mine. If Michael sat down with him, I would sit down with him as well. But he's got to let him get in touch with Amina, and we'll see if we can work something out.
Ralph Conti wants to know, Sammy, give me 3 numbers between 1 and 20 for the Kentucky Derby for Saturday.
That's easy, bro. I know the horses. It's a fixed race. But I'll give you the 16 horse.
Just 1?
What do you want? How many numbers you
He
want?
said 3.
What?
He said give him 3 numbers.
The 3 horse and the 12 horse.
Okay, there you have it, Ralph. Derek Davis. He says, Sammy, you bought me skates as a kid. Thank you. Do you remember ever buying somebody skates as a kid?
There's a lot of things I did as a kid. I don't remember the skates. You know, it was a girl told me that I bought her team T-shirts. They had a women's baseball team. And I didn't remember it. I told her no. And then she sent me pictures and everything. When I saw the pictures, you know, it said tallies on it. So I don't remember the skates, but I did go skating when I was younger. And I did have a lot of friends. I met a lot of people. And it's, you know, something I would do. So I don't, but I don't remember it, but it's something I would do. Did you become a skater? Did you play hockey?
Let us know, Derek. What did you end up doing with the skates? Liam Patrick. Hi, Sam. Can you describe the reaction among the families when Joe Bonanno released a book detailing Cosa Nostra?
Yeah, they really didn't like that. You know, he left and he went to Arizona and he left a life. They had shot his son, Salvatore Bonanno. Joe Bonanno went on the lam. He got caught in a plot. He got caught in a plot to kill the other bosses and become the boss of bosses. It didn't work out. And he went on the lam. His son didn't. His son was a little cocky, Salvatore Bonanno, and they shot him. That's what made him come back off the lam. He sat down with the commission, and they told him, we won't kill you or your son, but you got to get out of New York. And he went and lived in Arizona, and he stayed there. But when he wrote the book, he gave up talking about that there's a mafia. You can't do that. It's the same thing as ratting on the stand. They call it, it's a rat move. I remember sitting with Paul Castellano one day, and Paul Castellano told me, Sammy, that thing, you know, the book with Joe Bonanno and this and that, he's living in Arizona. He was talking to me about it. He didn't like it. He actually told me, I think I'm going to send you out there to kill him. And I told him, all right. I wasn't familiar with Arizona. halfway or three-quarters of the way through the conversation, he said, you know what? Forget what I just said as far as killing him. That's the Bonanno's job. They should do it. So I know a lot of people complained about it. They used his book in the commission case, I think it was. So that's the reason why you can't give up the secrets. So in the commission case, they'll use him. He was a boss. Now he's talking. If you cooperate and do certain things, they don't give a shit what you do. But if he didn't cooperate. He just left a life to save himself and his son. I had a small little meeting, not with him, with a representative of his when I first got out of prison. Actually, he got caught on tape. He was talking to his son and saying they let this Sammy the Bull out of prison and he's in Arizona. And he was concerned about it. He wanted to talk to me. He wanted to meet with me. So his son, Salvatore Bonanno, told him, why do you want to meet with him? He's a fucking rat. You don't have to meet with him. He said, you don't understand the life. This guy's a shooter. If he tries to take over Arizona, one of us, maybe some of us will wind up in the trunk. That's his style. So I want to talk with him and, make sure that he understands. And so anyway, one of the guys that they were talking with was Wyatt and was an informant, confidential informant. The FBI was listening to the whole conversation. The guy came down and talked to me and told me he wanted a meeting. And I had said, okay, I'll meet with him on my turf. He told me, he said, the meeting he's concerned about a war between him and you. I said, listen, if that's what he wants to meet with me about, you could tell him this. I just got out of prison. I have no interest in taking over Arizona. He don't have no worries with me. The only thing I would do, if anybody fuck with me or my family, I'll be at war with them. And the guy left. There was no meeting necessary. He sent his guy back and said, tell Sammy, if anybody fucks with him and bothers him, let me know. I'll help him. So it was a good thing. Then I got a phone call from the feds asking me if I was going to sit with him. I had just got out of prison. I cooperated. And I said, yeah. And I told him it was minor bullshit, just saying hello. No intimidation on either part. We're comfortable. We're not worried about each other. We're friends. We're old timers. We both left the life. That's what it was about. They said, okay, good. No, not a big deal. I said, good. They said, remember, you're on parole. I remember. But I said, let me ask you a question. How the fuck do you know? And they told me that somebody sitting at the table with him was Wyatt. I sent a message back to him, and I said, listen, the feds called me up. The feds in Arizona heard the meeting, and called New York. New York called me and asked me about the meeting. Whoever you were sitting with, I don't think it's your son, but whoever else you were sitting with must have been Wyatt. He's an informant. He sent me down. Thank you so fucking much. And that was about it. He was a good guy, tough guy, smart guy, but he lived his life out in Arizona till he died. He had a cotton farm, cattle farm, and he lived a nice, quiet life. I don't know what made him write the book. He didn't need it. That almost gave him a problem where he would have got killed. When he was gone, nobody was going to bother him. So, and nobody did anyway, so book or no book. But that's why you're not supposed to do those things. Whenever you talk and do things publicly, and you're a made guy, you're breaking the rules of Cosa Nostra. Listen, they even talked about when John was all that flashy shit and all that talk and everything. And Anthony Reggiano's father, Fat Andy, and another guy were talking, and they said that they should take him down. He's not acting like a fucking boss. And I think it was Fat Andy said they should kill him for what he's doing. So they take this oath very serious. but they didn't kill John, so.
Derek Davis, the one that you bought skates for, he said he ended up giving it to his cousin because he broke his leg.
Are you blaming me for breaking your leg?
Because of the skates. And well, okay, so to what you were saying, Janet also asks if Chin was such a stickler, well, actually, it's more of a, yeah, if Chin was such a stickler for the rules, why was he okay with the DeChico car bomb?
It's a good question, as usual, from Janet. She's got a good mind as far as Cosa Nostra is concerned. And he was behind that. That's what they do in Italy. John was hard to hit. We were hard to hit. We always had 20, 30 guys around. You're not going to hit guys that easy like that, especially when they're aware of it. They know a hit is coming. We were always prepared. You send a hit guy out, more than likely he's going to get killed. We're ready for him. We're laying traps for him. So putting a bomb under it, he used people from Italy. He made a connection in Italy. The people who brought the bomb in and placed the bomb under the car, Frankie's car, were greaseballs. They were from Italy. And they went back. So he come up with this idea, did it. He broke the rules, Janet, you're right. He broke the rules himself. You know, it's hypocritical. A lot of guys, you know, like they'll call somebody who cooperates, you call them a rat. Guys do things in other ways that's considered the same thing. Let's go back to John Gotti. Betrayed me that he was going to back up the government's tapes that weren't true to blame it on me so he could be. The tapes were so bad. Here's the theory from the lawyers. We could turn around and say to the jury at closing arguments, you heard John Gotti complaining about Sammy. Poor John Gotti, it's not him. You hear him complaining. It was him. Killing people, taking over unions, taking over businesses, which is all bullshit. But when you want to back that tape, it's a rat move. Again, I'm not calling him a rat, but certain things that you do in the life are considered a rat move. A rat takes the stand, or especially a confidential informant is the worst. He comes into your house, he's wired, there's agents sitting in a car, you're on tape, your family's on tape. Not that your family's doing anything wrong, but it's just a horrible fucking thing. So there's different levels of cooperation. So sometimes when a guy cooperates, they break all ties with him, like me and a lot of people who cooperate, and that's it. Go live your life, go on YouTube, go do what you want to do. Confidential informant, I think I know that I would be, they're a little more angry with that, because that's a snaky move, and they're conning you. They may come into you and say something about some sort of score or something that they can do, or a guy who's drug dealing, they'll talk to him. Now, the guy don't get busted right away, but all of a sudden, the government is watching carefully. All of a sudden, without even knowing why, he's busted. It was because of the guy who's the confidential informant. He's literally opening the door for them to go on you and telling them what you're doing. These are people who know you. I mean, if you're going to be a cooperator, walk the fuck away, bro, and go do what you got to do. They're the worst. Greg Scarpa, people like that, they were confidential informants all their fucking lives. They're staying out of jail. They're committing crimes left and right. They got a green light. And they're putting their best friends, they're putting people away left and right. That's the worst kind. I'd rather a guy cooperate and whatever. Sit on the stand, and after a while, he's done. Fuck you, get out of the life, you're gone. But the confidential informant's never done. And there's all kinds of shit that they put out. I think they're the worst of the pack. A lot of tough guys who cooperated, even before I cooperated, I would always ask the question, I knew the guy for years. Why? Why did he cooperate? And there's always a fucking story. Not always, but there's sometimes, most of the times, there's a story how they were betrayed, or this, or that, or almost killed or for bullshit reasons. They seen betrayal and they were betrayed by the oath themselves, so they leave. If they take I took that attitude, fuck the mafia, fuck John Gotti. If that's what this boils down to, I quit. That was my attitude. Not that I wanted to rap, but I quit. So you can go through different takes. Try to think of your wife. You're married. Or your husband. He's married. And he's betraying you with your best fucking friend. You're going to stay in that marriage? Not only are you not going to stay in that marriage, you may be fucking wild about, what you're going to do. Your movements or whatever you're going to do. So there's stories to all of this shit. But you're right, Janet. He broke a major rule. In a major rule in the United States, kill people like that in Italy. But fuck Italy. We're not in Italy. In the United States, we were against killing with bombs and doing certain things. So.
Okay, Mike Sudar was wondering what happened to Tutto when you became consigliere and then underboss. He said, did he just retire and stay out of sight? Did Big Louie inherit him? Did his club shut down? And he says, thank you again. Keep up the great work. He also says, P.S. Tell Gerard to put out a cooking show because he's dying to attempt some of your recipes.
Yeah. We're talking to Gerard. Gerard is working on that now. He's, putting his show together how he wants to do it. And I think you're going to hear that in the very near future. He cooked for us today at lunchtime. He made a whole meal for us. But let me get back to that question now. Here's what happened in Tutto. When we killed Paul Castellano, he wanted to step down. He did step down. He went and talked with John, who was the new boss. Frankie the Chico was the underboss. And he said he wanted to step down. They said, okay, do you want to remain with us, the administration? He said, no. I would like Sammy to take over my crew, and I would love to be under him. That's what John and Frankie did. He was under me. I treated him always like he was my man, my boss, my father, my friend, my everything. I know there was no such thing. I was his boss, not in my eyes. Officially, I was his boss. When I flipped, he's the guy who got me made. I would think he would hate me in a way. But he never did. He blamed John Gotti. He died in, I think it was 1993. Years later, never ever said a bad word about me. Never called me a rat. Always blamed John. And he died of natural causes. When I was gone, I don't think he was under anybody. He had retired. He gave up.
Just a quick shout out to G. Junior Ramirez. Gave you a kick up. He said, you're going to see nothing but taillights if we race, Sammy.
Is that what you think? All right. If I continue this racing, listen. Even the pros. I was in the thing. They gave me the black flag. You know what it is, and I had to pull off. Even they said it when they pulled me off. They said, Sammy, you're going to be a problem to everybody because you got balls. You raced. You were going too fast on the turns and the curves. So if I'm gonna see taillights, you better go real fast, bro. So, but listen, I hope we race together and have some fun. That's what racing is all about. It was on my bucket list. I didn't do it to prove a point to anybody or anything. I did it because I was having fun. It was something that the girls could participate with me, and we had a ball. It's just I underestimated how difficult it is, how strong it is. But I will repeat that these are great people. They did everything under the sun to help me enjoy it and teach me. They're telling me things I got to do if I want to stay with it. I don't know if I stay with it. I didn't imagine it to be this much work. Now, I'm doing a lot of work, as you already know. So I'm going to have to back up with something. So I don't know if I'm going to back up with the racing or something else. But I'm doing a lot of things. I hired a beautiful woman with me who does She's a designer. I'm opening up a clothing line. She brought me to a couple of places that are just great. Very talented woman, and I'm blessed to have her, and I'm working on that now. Why I feel so blessed, she took me to a factory that's doing things here, and they're going to do a lot of help. They may make some of our clothes, stuff like that. But my mother was a seamstress. My mother and father had a dress factory. When she brought me to this place and I walked in, the owner was talking to us. They showed us the whole place. I almost felt like I was back in time with my mother and father in the factory. I understood the business a little bit. So I wasn't totally green to it. And I think I'm having fun with doing this too. Talking about tracksuits. I would love to do tracksuits. I grew up when we were kids. We all had tracksuits, and I want to get a gangster line. Something what we used to wear years ago, and in today, somewhere in the middle. And I'm enjoying this as well. And so I'm doing a lot of things. The racing thing, I didn't think would be this many hours, these many days. It's a lifestyle.
Sean Mark in the Super Chat wants to know, Colombo Captain Dominic Mimi Sciallo?
Yes, Mimi.
Mimi?
You got Mimi.
Mimi?
He's Mimi.
It sounds like Mimi. Insulted Carlo. Were you aware of that?
No. I heard something about this that Carlo did not like him. But I mean, he was a real tough guy. And some guys feared him, some guys liked him, and some guys didn't like him. So I did hear a story one day that I don't think he was maybe disrespectful. Maybe Carlo Gambino took it as some sort of disrespect, but he was a rough type of guy with his mouth and everything. But I don't think it was anything big, or he would have been dead right away. Matter of fact, he did get killed. He was killed. His body was missing. They rubbed him out. He was doing hits off the record. He was a bad dude, tough dude. I'm not going to say he was a bad dude, but he was a real tough dude. When you start doing things off the record without your boss knowing, you're going to go. They can't trust you no more.